Hello everyone, I'm here with the continuation of the lesson Our Body. I'm going to show you something. What is this, please? Can you see this? This is the human skeleton, and as I have said earlier in the last class, this is the skull where you have the sockets for the eyes, then a place for the nose, and inside this you have the brain. These are your arms. This is the rib cage. Then you have the pelvic girdle here. Then you have the bones here of the thigh, the leg, the toes, and then here you see this is how it is. This part, this central one, is known as the vertebral column. Each bone you can see here, it is made up of bones one on top of the other, and through this inside you have the spinal cord that starts from the brain. And you see this rib cage is fixed. It cannot be moved like this hand. It's fixed. This rib cage is the one that protects the heart and the lungs. So this in short is the human skeleton. Let's get back to the lesson. Page 3, page 143. The circulatory system. The heart, blood and blood vessels make up the circulatory system. The heart pumps blood to various parts of the body through these blood vessels. The heart is supposed to be here, this part, protected by this rib cage. This rib cage protects the heart. And remember, the heart is a muscular organ. It is made up of cardiac muscle and it works throughout our life. Once it stops, we do not exist. That is the peculiarity of the heart. Now, if you go to a doctor when you are sick, immediately the doctor takes a stethoscope and puts it here on your chest. He checks your heartbeat. Then he feels your pulse here, isn't it? That is to feel the pulse rate. Now, if your pulse rate is not normal, or if your heartbeat is too fast or slow, he gives medicines accordingly. Now, this heart is the pumping organ and pumps blood to all the blood vessels throughout the human body. Next is the nervous system. The brain, spinal cord and the nerves form the nervous system. It receives messages from different parts of the body and sends out messages for action. It also helps us think and learn. Now here you have the skull. This is the skull, and here you have the brain. Corresponding to my head and my brain is inside, you will also have the same way, the brain is inside. And this, here you have the spinal cord protected by this rib cage, and then the full nerves that start from the brain moving to all the different parts of your body. Now, the brain is the most important part of the nervous system. The brain is made up of 3 parts. One is the cerebellum, then you have the cerebrum, and you have the medulla oblongata. Now, the medulla oblongata is actually here. This is a skeletal system, so you can't see it's a skeleton. It is there in this part that joins this part of the backbone or the spinal cord to the main brain. That is known as the medulla oblongata. Now, the function of the brain is to receive messages from the different nerves and also to send messages to the different nerves. Now, suppose you touch a pan of hot boiling water. You go and there's a pot of boiling water in the kitchen. You accidentally touch the pot. Immediately you take your hand off. Why is that so? Because this nerve ending from the hand has sent the message to the brain saying it is hot, and you take back your hand. So that is an impulsive action. It is an immediate action. and the brain sends the message back to the nerve in the hand saying take off the hand, and that is done by the muscles. So the brain sends and receives messages from different parts of the body. Then the brain at this particular time when I am reading from the textbook, it is the work of the brain which coordinates with the muscles of the eye and my hand to make my teaching effective. Because as I look into the book and read, I am able to identify the letters. It is because of the messages being sent from the eyes to the brain to identify the letters and their sounds. So the brain works a lot indeed when we study, when we write, even sometimes when we play. When your mother is cooking, of course, she has to identify the different ingredients and the way how it is cooked, the taste, everything. So the brain is also a very important part of our body. Then the nervous system is divided into two parts. One is the central nervous system and one is the peripheral nervous system. In the peripheral nervous system, the spinal cord here, which runs right from here down to this is the vertebrae. It is very, very important. Now let's go on to the next one, sense organs. Now you know we all have sense organs. We have some parts that help us sense our surroundings. They are called sense organs. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin are the 5 sense organs. So you've been learning from first standard about sense organs. The eyes help you to see. The ear will help you to hear. Right now when you are looking at my lesson, you are seeing me, it's with your eyes. You are listening to me, it's with your ears. Our sense organ, then the nose. When you smell good food in the house, when your mother makes biryani, you are able to get the good smell from the kitchen. That is because of the nose. Your nose is able to identify the good smell. Suppose a plant is getting rotten or decayed, it gives out a bad smell, and that smell is also identified by your nose, which is a sense organ. Then you have the tongue. Now tongue tastes food. Now there are some parts of the tongue which have different tastes. Like one is a salt taste, one is a sweet taste, one is a sour taste and one is a bitter taste. Now when you eat chocolate, it becomes a sweet taste. When you eat banana chips, salted banana chips, it becomes a salty taste. When you eat bitter gourd, it becomes a bitter taste. And when you eat curd, it becomes a sour taste. So different parts of the tongue have different taste buds which can identify the taste of the food that you eat. The eyes help us to see. Our ears help us hear. The nose helps us smell. Our tongue helps us taste. And our skin helps us to feel heat, cold, pressure, pain and touch. The next one is the skin. Now the skin is the largest organ that covers the human body, right from top to bottom. Even under your hair you have the scalp, that is the skin. So skin is the largest organ that completely covers the human body. As I told you, when you go to touch a glass of hot water or a pan of boiling water, as soon as you touch, immediately you take your hand back because this skin immediately registers the difference in temperature, the hot temperature of the pan. Similarly, when you are outside on a cold winter's day, you feel cold because your body temperature is able to recognize the difference in temperature that is outside. It is very cold and you need to get warm. So you start shivering, you run inside and get a shawl or a sweater to cover yourself. When you light a small fire and you place your hands near the fire, immediately you feel the heat of the fire coming to your hands. What do? You start feeling hot, you move farther away from the fire because you know that temperature is something that you cannot bear. It becomes hot for you. So that is realized by the skin. So the temperature variations, the heat, the cold and also the pressure, all this is identified by the skin, and the skin is also an important sense organ. Now coming to the excretory system. Now the excretory system consists of the kidneys, the ureter and the urethra. As I told you, the kidneys are the two bean-shaped organs which filter the blood and absorb all the nutrients, and the waste is sent as urine to the urinary bladder, and from the urinary bladder it is ejected out as urine. Next, the excretory system. This system helps remove waste from the body. We have kidneys that remove waste from the body in the form of urine. The picture of the excretory system is there. Now the reproductive system. This system helps in giving birth to babies. As I had told you in the introduction, the reproductive system of a male and a female is entirely different. In the females you have the ovary, the fallopian tubes, and in the male you have the scrotum, the other organs related to it, the vas deferens, epididymis. All this you will learn in the higher class. This is just an introduction. So the reproductive organs are useful in bringing forth babies, which is also of prime importance for the growth of the human population. With this we come to the end of the lesson. Now let's go on to the question answers. Exercises. A. Tick the correct answer. 1. The air we breathe in is rich in oxygen. 2. The process of digestion is completed in the small intestine. 3. Blood is carried to various parts of the body through the blood vessels. 4. The excretory system has 2 kidneys. And remember, respiratory system has 2 lungs. B. Label the internal parts of the body. So the first one, as you see here in this, this is the skull. You have the brain inside the skull. Then coming down you have the lungs. Then you have the heart. Then stomach. And last one is intestine. Now coming to answer the following questions. List the correct breathing habits. Now when you sleep, you should always breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. Do not cover your face while sleeping, and keep the windows open to let in fresh air. Do not wear tight fitting clothes because that is an obstruction to your breathing normally. Second question. Define digestion. Now digestion is the process of breaking down complex food particles in the stomach to even finer or smallest particles of food so that the nutrients can be absorbed by the body. That in fact is the process of digestion. Third, what are the functions of the skeletal system? So the function of this is to protect all the internal organs. Here it will protect the brain, here the heart, the lungs, respiratory system, then the kidneys, then here you have the reproductive system that is also protected. So the function of the skeleton is to protect the internal organs and also give shape and support to the body. Next one, name the organs that make up the circulatory system. Now the circulatory system is made up of the heart, the blood vessels, and the blood vessels are none other than the arteries and the veins. How do our sense organs help us? Now the sense organs help us to keep in touch with the surroundings in our everyday lives, and also we are able to detect the temperature differences in the surrounding because of the sense organ, that is the skin. We can smell different fragrances. The nose helps in that. The tongue helps us to taste our food, so we can identify the different types of food that we eat. So in short, it keeps us alive with the environment. We are able to adapt ourselves to the environment very easily. With this, the question answers are over. Now let's go on to life skills. Kanchan was sitting very close to the TV while watching her favorite cartoon. Is Kanchan doing the right thing? Why? No. Kanchan is not doing the right thing because watching TV at a very close distance will harm your eyesight. 1. Second, the mobile phones and TVs, they give out ultraviolet rays which are not good for health. So always remember to keep a particular distance when you watch TV, and also too much use of the mobile phone is going to be bad for your health. Next one, values for life. Sometimes the organs of a person get damaged badly due to illness or injury. Then such organs need to be replaced by new ones which can be donated by another person. Find out which body parts can be donated and circle the correct ones. Now you can donate your eyes, so circle eyes. You can donate your heart, circle heart. You can donate your kidneys, circle kidneys. So these are some of the organs which can be transferred from one person to another before a particular time. After a particular time, the transplantation will not take place because the organ will have ceased to function. So within a stipulated time, this organ from a person who has just passed away is transferred to the next person who is in need of it. HOTS. Can you identify the system involved in the following activities? Sonia has memorized the tables up to 10. So that is the nervous system because it is the work of the brain. 2. Raji picks up a ball. That is the muscular system because only with the help of muscles you can pick up the ball. And of course your nervous system because the brain is sending messages to the hand to pick up the ball. So two systems, the muscular system and the nervous system. Third one, Sarika loves eating vadas. Yes, one thing is the sense organ is involved. That is the sense organ of smell, the nose. She gets the smell of the vadas. And next one is the tongue. She is able to taste the vada, identify the taste of the vada through the tongue. So two organs here, the sense organs, two of them, the nose and the tongue. Next one, Thomas has wounded his knee and is bleeding. Of course, bleeding is related to the blood and it is circulatory system. When the blood is flowing through the body, whenever you cut your hand or leg or any part, immediately blood comes out. So the blood is involved with the circulatory system. Fifth one, smoke from the burning garbage was suffocating people in the area. Sometimes you find when you burn dry leaves near your house, or if you are having a kitchen where your mother cooks using firewood, there is smoke. And once you enter the kitchen with this filled with smoke, you start gasping for breath. You can't breathe the normal way. That is getting suffocated. So when you are suffocating, which organs are responsible? It is the lungs, and that comes under respiratory system. So when you get suffocated, the respiratory system is affected. With this, I come to the end of the lesson. Now let's go on to activity. Who am I? I rhyme with rain. I am your brain. B-R-A-I-N. 2. I rhyme with tart. I am your heart. H-E-A-R-T. Third one. I rhyme with cone. I am your bone. B-O-N-E. Fourth one. I rhyme with Sydney. I am your kidney. K-I-D-N-E-Y. Fifth one. I rhyme with rise. I am your eyes. E-Y-E-S. That's all for today. Thank you. Your homework will be to do A, draw task B and label as it is done in the textbook, and do C also. Please do A, B, draw the diagram given in the textbook and label it very neatly, and then C2.